Last video, we spoke for about 40 minutes on just how good one single scene of Andor is, and how we want to see more quality television like this. So we decided to watch the new Star Wars, Ahsoka, the one that's being hailed as the greatest Star Wars we've ever had, and yes, it is. What did you think, Steve?
I want my time back, Reese.
It was remarkably boring.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Honestly, it's not actually the boring part that drives me nuts. It isn't. I'm patient, okay? Not really, but you get the point. Really, what it is just characters having no repercussions for outrageous things. Like the world building, there's so much wrong.
Just the writing in general.
Honestly, it's to the point that when someone tells me that they like Ahsoka, I'm like, you watch that while fucking around on TikTok.
How far did you get? Tell the audience how far you managed to get before you're like...
I'm very proud of this fact. I managed to get about 15 minutes into the second episode, and by the time the protagonists were done watching one of the good guys who had been stabbed somehow be remarkably fine, building a bomb in a hospital, I was like, I'm sorry. I'm done. If you're not taking this seriously, I'm not taking it seriously.
No, there's no awareness of what's going on with those characters, really, is there? But what we want to talk about...
I will say this, because some people get quite triggered when I speak like this. If you're someone that enjoyed it, that's cool, man. Like, good for you. I'm not trying to not... Like, good for you. Like, seriously, it's cool. I don't like it, but I'm not trying to take it away from you. So,
Yeah, I think sometimes when we're doing analysis... Whether you like it or not isn't really coming into the equation.
Yep.
So, moving straight into them, what we're going to be doing today is analysing the introduction to each show's titular character, Andor and Ahsoka.
Both open with location shots telling us where they are. Both characters are looking for something. Both get into a fight and both flee their respective planets. So, because they're so similar in structure, it's going to be the details, the execution, that's going to make, by my lights, one of them very good and one of them not so good. It begins with setting the scene. It's dark, it's raining, and we see a lonely hooded figure strolling through a yet unknown destination. We also learn the specific planet that he's on, because this plays a role later on in the show. Now, this isn't a necessary thing for us to learn, but, it's exposition and it's useful, and it's not, taking much for them to be able to deliver this information.
We also, through the same method, get to learn about when this show is set. So it's 5 years before the Battle of Yavin, which, if you've never watched Star Wars, is A New Hope. So it's 5 years before the original film that started this whole franchise. So that's our timeline. So we've seen him walking for some time now, and he's entered what appears to be some sort of red light district. A seedy place, to be sure. But everything we've seen so far is quite tidy and clean, which indicates a location of wealth. And as we find out later in the show, this is the prime planet of this sector. So this visual that we're getting here is building up to that fact. No dialogue has been had yet, but we're still learning quite a lot in this scene as Andor is moving forward.
Now in shelter, the main character pulls back his hood, giving us a look at his face. This kind of reveal is very common in shows, and what I particularly like here is that there's justification for doing so. He's just got out of the rain, out of the dark, out of the damp, and, well, the person he's interacting with needs to see his face. We can also see that he's nervous.
This feels like a very new location for Star Wars. I mean, we've had cantinas, but this is like a brothel with this sort of electronic club vibe, more than it is a fantasy tavern. It's just more world building. It's enhancing the diversity of the galaxy that we've seen across multiple films so far.
Pay at the end.
So that's obviously a very, very small thing there. You pay at the end. That line of dialogue tells us quite a bit, actually.
And as you said, one thing it tells us is that he doesn't frequent this place. She doesn't recognize him, so she's telling him information that regulars would know. And this adds to his nervous disposition. It's telling us that he's in a position or in a place that he doesn't frequent.
Don't even think about it. Just send you home crying.
This man, however, is a regular who clearly has no issues confronting strangers.
So Andor here chooses not to respond to them. He's trying to lay low, not draw attention to himself.
Welcome.
Hello?
Alone tonight.
Just me.
Have you been with us before?
First time.
Oh, you picked a great night. It's so lovely and quiet this evening.
So what we've just got now is confirmation of our earlier inference of him not frequenting this bar. We get told it's an unusually quiet night, which then indicates to us that either he was very lucky, or as I believe, he's specifically chosen a quiet night for this visit.
Yep. And that gets across his intelligence, right?
Yeah,
You're building quite a lot. He's an anxious, cautious person who doesn't want to be here. The other thing that we can see is that the guy in the background who's happy confronting everyone, he's frustrated, he's upset because this newbie is getting attention whereas he's not.
Excuse me. We were here first.
Yeah, we've been waiting, he just got here.
Garni will help you.
I don't want Garni.
Behave.
The fact that they've been waiting here and that the hostesses instead went to Andor,
And what she's just said there, and the attitude in which she delivered it.
yeah, it all indicates that they are not popular.
Oh, she's funny, isn't she?
And as soon as it's clear that he can't take dominance over the hostess, what does he do? He turns his attention to Andor. He wants to control the situation.
Yeah. He's a man who's very much okay with confrontation.
My apologies.
You should take care of them.
Why?
What we got from Andor there with the you should take care of them, it's just another addition again to the fact that he's trying to avoid such confrontation.
Yeah, he wants them gone because he recognizes that they may jeopardize what he's here to achieve.
If they're appeased, then he can carry on quietly.
It's a company town.
Oh, they're just sentry guards. They like to play at being cops. It's annoying.
And there's the indication of why they're not respected here.
Yeah.
They're corporate security. And she really doesn't value that at all by just calling it playing at cops. It's great. I love these little lines like this. They're great.
Where were we?
You were telling me how quiet it was.
Looking for something special tonight?
A friend of mine said there was a girl from Canary working here.
So what we've learned here is that Andor is looking for someone specific from Canary. His response indicates that not a lot of people have heard about Canary.
It's not your girlfriend or something, is it?
I don't have a girlfriend.
Are you from Canary? Nostalgic, are we? Let me go and check on that for you.
And here we can see that he's being vague, deliberately vague, because he doesn't want to give up any information. The only reason that he's saying anything at all about Canary is because he has to, in order to achieve what he's come here to achieve. In essence, he doesn't want anything to be pinned to him. He doesn't want to leave any information that can be traced to him.
This is a very cautious individual here, and we will gradually learn why. A lot of this may seem irrelevant at this sort of moment of you watching it, but as you get further through the show, all of these little bits of information that's being communicated here are actually quite important.
This is something amusing.
Talking of little information, look at that stare. if looks could kill,
Yeah.
that's it right there.
Oh yeah, he's resenting the fact that Andor was favoured over him. We've all had this sort of person in a bar, haven't we? Someone who's just looking for an excuse to start a fight.
What I like about it is that I want to punch him, which tells me that he's a good actor. They've got another good actor to play, these smaller roles.
They've nailed that casting aspect.
Yeah.
Haven't they? I mean, as we said last episode, they are on point with the people that they've hired.
Absolutely.
And they've got someone who's quite excellent at playing an absolute dick.
What?
You keep looking over here like there's something funny.
Definitely not.
What does that mean?
They really want to fight. Like, there's nothing he could say or do in that situation which wouldn't respond with aggression.
Yes, so his best option is just try and avoid it.
Yeah.
Sticking to his goal here of avoiding conflict, getting the information that you want.
And I will say that it was Andor's disposition, this disposition of not being a typical protagonist, that made me, when I first watched this, go, I might be watching something different to what I was expecting. Because I'm so used to it, especially in like a Star Wars franchise.
Oh, that is a hard look for a little thing like you.
Yeah, he's not laughing now, is he?
There was a girl from Canary, but she left several months ago.
What a wonderful little flick of the eyes. The flick of the eyes basically says, shut the fuck up. I didn't tell you that information to express that in front of people.
Yeah, it was just the way he looked there. He sort of heard her and then looked back at them to see if they were paying attention to what was said.
And again, it's worried. Our protagonist is worried.
We do have a lovely lady here tonight from Tahina who's got those big dark eyes you're looking for.
This girl from Canary. Any idea where she went?
What are you? Seriously? Boyfriend, husband?
I'm looking for my sister.
Again, that look back towards the guards before muttering, sister.
Yeah.
It tells us he's really he is trying to keep this information low. Why? What's so important that no one finds out he's looking for someone from Canary? It's a question that's raised, and it's a question that is answered by the show as well.
Well, whoever she is, she's not here. She disappeared. People come and go. You should leave.
What was her name?
Nobody here gives their real name.
I quite like her interaction there. Essentially, if you're not here for business, leave.
It's very pragmatic in that sense, but it's also, you're obviously here for reasons that I don't want to be involved in.
She's picking up on the fact that this obviously isn't just a normal person looking for their sister. There's something else underlying.
Yeah, she's an insightful side character.
Yeah. And then because he's got no usable information, he's got no choice but to leave disappointed.
So we complimented on our last video the camera angles and the colours, the styles, and this is just something that Andor nails. Like here you can see that it's concise, it's the camera's pushed into his face, it's slightly looking up at him, and we can just see the distress, not just on his face, but because of the angles, because of the scene, when those guards call out his name.
He's walking down here a very quiet and isolated alleyway, so by bringing in the camera tight like this, we get that claustrophobic feel as well.
Yeah.
Stop right there! You're in Primo Corporate Zone, you know that, right? Employees are required to present their IDs upon request. Oh, then you didn't park out past the causeway, did ya? Sure hope not. That's off limits to visitors. We'd have to fine you. Yeah, I mean, you know about the visitors curfew, right? Yeah, we'd have to impound your ride.
So we can see that we're about to see a shakedown, and they're letting him know.
Yeah.
This tells you lots of stuff. Like, for instance, it implies heavily that they've been doing this before, that they're going to be making up citations on the spot, as you can hear them doing. They're corrupt people.
What have you swam over? You swim over, Scrono. Nah, he's not laughing anymore. If you've got Corpo ID now, it'd be the time to pull it out.
The quick flash across Andor's face there is oh fuck, they're doing this, aren't they? They're really doing this.
I have to say, again, that's something you don't necessarily see in protagonists. They're like, yeah, I'm up for the fight. You're a bad guy. I'll sort you out. Instead, it's, I just don't want an interaction with you. Please just leave me alone.
Yep.
What have you swam over? You swim over, Scrono. Nah, he's not laughing anymore. If you've got Corpo ID now, it'd be the time to pull it out.
Clever.
Yeah. If you've got Corpo ID, in other words, reveal if you're in our club and then you're safe. Otherwise, well.
Which is, again, them knowing how to do this. They've done these shakedowns 100 times over. That's how they get money to be able to sit in that posh brothel.
Because they know if you're within the Primo Corporation and they shake you down, there's a good chance of their names and positions getting reported back and then getting found out for doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So they want their ID now so they know to leave you alone. Because if they're this corrupt, there's also a good chance that other people across this Primo Corporation are in a similar position.
There you go. I got 300 credits in my coat pocket. Wow.
So the big guy pulls out a gun, and Andor reacts immediately. He doesn't want to give this guy a reason to shoot. He doesn't want to give him any excuse for this situation to escalate.
Yeah, so obviously I've got 300 credits in my coat pocket. Take it. Or, I can pay you. He knows they're just after a bribe. He's got some street smarts. He knows that he's probably been in this situation before.
He's prepared for it. So this is letting us know about him earlier on. The hostess revealed that he had turned up on a night that's not very busy. Perhaps that isn't a coincidence. It looks like he's prepared. He's got the right amount of money for the bribe. But very subtly on his face.
It's not the right amount of money. Any money that he had, they were going to take.
Probably. But if you look on his face when they don't immediately say, yeah, give us the money, it indicates that he realizes this might escalate further. And he's like, oh, goodness, I don't want this.
So in charge, personal processing fee.
Everybody's lucky night.
Let's have a look at it.
I'm not moving.
Explicitly stating that he's not moving. He doesn't want to give these cops any reason to do anything. He's doing his best to de-escalate the situation. Or
Is he drawing them in?
He wanted you take it and I walk away. I don't need any surprises.
I love the drum beat going here. It is like this rising tension, and it's sort of in line with what you can imagine his heartbeat doing here, accelerating.
Oh, that's it.
we see Andor wince in pain and frustration and potentially an overwhelming fear. He's just had a gun thrusted into his head.
He tries to get a quick sense of the situation, just checking the two guys, make sure, he is going to get away from this. But as soon as he starts to look around, he's hit by that guard.
I mean, what I love about that is its competency being shown for yet another side character.
Yeah, no, you don't get to look around. Stand fucking still.
And it adds to the fact that they've done this before.
Yes.
Oh, the pocket.
That music's really ratcheting up now, really raising that tension. So what we discover is that Andor really had actually lured them in a bit there. He wasn't willing to give up that money, and he'd almost set a trap here, pushing them to make a mistake, moving that one guard behind him, which forces the other one to move further around. By moving him round, he's now got access and vision on the weapon, so he takes his chance, and the music cuts as he slams his skull back into that guard, and the action kicks off. It's great.
I think this is the first big payoff as well, because we've had this guy refer to Andor as a little guy, and we've had Andor being very passive and very much not wanting to get into conflict. All of that's paid off. It's made them hubris. It's made them approach him as if he's not a genuine threat. And so he's able to capitalize on it. Now, something that you've just said, which I'm not sure I agree with, which means we've got to fight to the death, is that you think that he wasn't willing to give that money up.
If you were willing to let them just take the money in your pocket, you could have let them take the money in the pocket. The fact that he decided to launch into this suggests that he really was going to do this all along.
I agree at that point that he was going to do it. But I think it was when he said, I have 300 in my pocket, and they said, oh, that's when he realised this is more serious.
Oh yeah, when they started making up new charges and stuff,
I think
that's when he made the decision.
You can almost see on his face where it's like a disappointment of like, oh no, I have to go through with this. So do you think that from the beginning he was never going to give him the 300? Because he's got the 300 on him.
I think initially it was just take the money and go, but as soon as they started doing those citations following him announcing how much he's got for them, that you're right. He knew that this was going to be bigger trouble than just a bribe. That they were most likely going to take him to jail anyway.
Yep, fair enough. No, we're on the same page then. And of course, if any of you watching disagree with us, you're wrong, but let us know why in the comment section.
In any fight like this, the one person with the gun, that gun is the most valuable thing anyone can have in a fight. It's a force multiplier. So Andor is immediately trying to grab it off of him because he knows that.
And being a smart ass, what does he do? He punches him in the throat because he knows that that's going to cause him to struggle and loosen his grip and focus on surviving rather than...
Have you ever been hit in the throat? You ain't doing a lot.
I have, and it's true.
Yeah. So he's now, he's gasping for breath and unable to fight back. So that's when Andor then just comes in with his tackle and throws him to the ground. But guess what? Still holding that gun. He is not letting that thing go.
And also, you get the little guy payoff. Oh, you're a little guy. Okay, I'll body
it's
slam
just
you.
body slam the big guy.
Yeah. And you said about him still holding onto the gun.
He don't want to let that go.
Even under that pressure, it shows competency again. Like, he doesn't want to let go of that gun.
He's
Yeah.
And Andor still has to smash his hand
3 times, yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I love it.
Tell me now! Tell me what to do!
He's immediately checking that gun is ready, points at the guard, and he's starting to look for a way out of this situation, which leads credence to the idea that he changed his plan at that point of them making up the citations. He was going to give them the money.
Yeah.
Then he changed his plan and he's got no choice. So he's fought them, but he still needs to a way out of this.
Yeah. And he even says, tell me what to do. Mm-hmm. Like, he's panicking, he's anxious, and he's got the gun at him. He's got control, and he's still saying, tell me how we can put this right.
This wasn't the initial plan.
Yeah, not at all. And again, it shows good character on him. Like, he's not just bam, dead. He's asking, what do I do in this situation that you've put me in?
Yeah, well, actually, that's an interesting thing there, isn't it? If he was just, a bit of a bastard who wanted a quick and easy way out, he would have shot him immediately and run.
Yep.
But he doesn't want to kill them. He wants a way out of this situation where everyone, it just, goes away.
Let's hear it, boss! Get up! Get him up! Get him up! Move! He's not breathing.
The other guy, it seems, is dead. But it went into his head, yeah. And
took a bit of it was either the blast to the face from the from the back of Andor's skull or fall into the ground, but either way,
he's gone.
He's gone, and that clearly wasn't Andor's intention.
And what I love is that our tough guy, he genuinely looks distraught.
Yeah, and what's nice about that is obviously a bit of a thieving bastard.
Yep.
But he clearly cared about his partner here.
Yeah.
It
just humanises these small characters, even the one-dimensional ones like him.
No. Furlough! He's taking! He's not!
Now, Andor's just in denial. Yeah. He's like, because he knows that if he's killed this guard, then he's in a much more dire situation than he wants to be in. Because, he says to him immediately, how do I fix this? He went to his partner, and basically the answer is, there's no fixing.
There's no fixing.
This is went about as south as it can.
Furlough!
This, for me, is a good example of the small moments in these well-written things that I love and a lot of people don't. This angry guy, he goes from pure anger, his friend is dead, and now he's all of a sudden reassessing the situation and going, oh goodness, he has a gun. I need to play by the rules. I'm now in the submissive role. I need to be able to fix this.
What you get is that this character's actually quite smart.
Mm-hmm.
He's feeling those emotions. You've killed my friend, and you could kill me too.
Yep.
And
hands up.
So he's immediately recognised the situation, and he's immediately moved into begging for his life. It's things like that make characters like this feel real to me. They are acting. It's not like the smartest thing ever.
No.
But it's like a general level of intelligence that I expect someone to act on in a situation.
And we've seen this throughout. All of the side characters are not just there to make the protagonist look good, right? They are there doing their own things. It feels real. This is really important for the world being believable.
You didn't mean it. He fell. We had a misunderstanding and we're going together.
He's giving him excuses. He's saying, look,
we'll go in together. We'll explain the situation.
I'm on your side. You're right. This went down badly, but don't worry. We can fix this situation.
Which obviously you can't. What are you going to do when you walk into the station with the man? And he's just going to turn around. He killed Furlough.
Yeah, and you can see it on his face. Like, Andor's just no, not buying it.
We played too hard, and you didn't understand. And He tried to grab you and he fell and he hit his head. We're going together. I'll tell him what happened.
We're going together, please. It's just, as we said, Andor has concluded what we just said there, is none of this will work. I can't do that. I can't, furthermore, he's been trying to avoid confrontation in situations where his face is known anyway. So he's, of course, not going to go to a police station to do that.
Nope.
Then you've got the fact that you can't walk into a police station after you've just killed someone and go, sorry, it was an accident.
Yeah, because it doesn't work like that.
Especially when you've got the guy's friend right there who's going to turn on you immediately.
Of course he is.
He has realised there is no easy way out of this situation for him. And so he will pull the trigger on a man pleading for his life. It's quite a dark scene for what's typically a protagonist, isn't it?
Well, talking of that, what I just love this about Andor's character. Normally what you'd get in a situation like this is the writers would go, right, we need Andor to conclude this segment. However, we don't want him to be in any way grey.
He needs to be morally good at all times.
He'll end up going, yes, I forgive you, big guy, and he'll get up and go to clobber Andor, and it makes him struggle and then shoot him. No, we see this pragmatism coming through on Andor, the realisation that this is it, I've got to do the choice. And what that means for us as an audience is it is slightly grey, because he didn't have to do that, and maybe there was other ways
I think
to go around it.
In a lesser show, when he was angry, you killed him.
Yep.
That guy would have then launched at Andor.
That's precisely
and attacked him. So Andor would have then killed him.
Yeah. So I love that detail in this.
It's great.
I really appreciate it.
And they clearly had the goal of, we want our characters to be a bit grey. And it feels like they've done it in a very believable manner. I love it.
I love this opening scene. When you told me that some people thought this sweet scene was boring, I was like, oh, you're on TikTok. Like, nothing wrong with TikTok, by the way.
Yes, there is.
It's just, that's a fair point you raise. It's just, don't watch it. Don't be on TikTok while watching something. Otherwise, you're encouraging people to make Ahsoka.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
What?
Because Ahsoka was way more boring than this.
Yeah, but it had flashy, boring bits. Anyway, we'll get to that
We'll
in a bit.
get to that in a bit.
We're
We're getting there too early, Steve. This is your fault.
Spoilers, Reese. We can see that this decision is already weighing on him, and he's trying not to panic. He's pacing back and forth. He genuinely, it's believable, Reese.
Yeah, just look at what you're seeing here. He's lost. His head isn't clear. I mean, very understandably, he's just killed two people. We get to feel these emotions with him. It's what's just happened. If what can I do now? What's next? What's next? He sees the two bodies of the men.
Yep.
And right, what is next? I've got to run.
Whereas what does a classic protagonist do? They finish a situation and then just be walking around looking all...
Galadriel.
It's
At the end of Galadriel. At the end of that Rings of Power fight.
Or it'd be almost like, that was mildly... Anyway, I need the next scene where I go into Giga Chad Turbo mode.
He quickly evacuates the planet in his ship, and that concludes the introductory sequence for Andor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we learn. As you said, I love this sequence. It's not boring. I don't understand it. We've learned a lot about this sort of location. I mean, looking at it here in this scene here, it's quite a wealthy and technological place compared to a lot of other places that we see.
Yeah.
But this planet is only ever mentioned again in the rest of the show. So what this sequence has done is put an image of the place that they're going to talk about in our heads, so that we don't have to keep referring back to what it looks like later. But more than that, we've learned a hell of a lot about Andor himself.
Loads, like about his character, about the way that he approaches these situations. We've also learned that the show knows how to write side characters. That's what hooked me. Because it is quite important for media for that opening scene to be good. And as I said, when I saw this, my first thought was, this isn't Star Wars. I'm in for.
Hey, a lot of Star Wars fans agree with you.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's true. Actually, that is true. No, I mean, genuinely, just kudos. I think it's just every line, every visual that you see,
It's doing something.
doing something.
We're getting stuff about the brothel hostesses. We're getting stuff about the corporate security guards.
Yep.
We're getting what his personality and a little bit about what his intentions are without even needing a lot of dialogue. And then the fight scene.
Yep.
Oh, I love it. It's great. It's intense, but it's short.
Yeah, intense, short, and I really like. And to be fair, this is to do with the writing of specifically Andor as a character. I just love that we get a character that's not one-dimensional.
It's not a standard sort of stereotype.
Grey characters are always more believable. Even if they're good, they've got to have some grey in them.
Yeah, but even though he killed the men, he had a very real emotional response to that killing. He wasn't happy about what he had to do, and it's all building up who he is.
It is. Now, that's Andor. That's what they achieved with 8 minutes. That's our analysis. We get to turn our attention now to Ahsoka. Are you ready for this, Reese?
Yeah, let's do it. Ahsoka. Best show. And remember, the structure of that intro is going to be very similar to what we're about to see. It's that same sort of setup of set up the location, what they're looking for a thing, fight, escape.
Tell you what, we've trolled them good because we've made out that we're not going to be happy with it, but we are. Like, we're going to love it. You're in for a treat.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a very, very simple setup, isn't it? How can they fuck it up? So, just like we had before, there's a lone hooded figure walking towards a yet unknown destination. The tone of the scene is quite different, so we had rain and this sort of more sort of claustrophobic look in Andor, and with Ahsoka we've got this sort of dusty and open environment.
And whereas Andor was walking with a purpose and he was looking about nervously, what we have here is Ahsoka seeming to just stroll very casually, looking cool.
Well, it potentially she's got some confidence.
Yeah. So what it does is it sets the scene that she's not really in the same kind of bothered state as Andor.
So she's walking towards some clearing. She definitely seems to have found something.
So she swipes her hand to reveal it, and then swipes her hand to cover it up again.
Yeah, she hasn't done anything with that dust. I mean, anyone who's ever cleared anything off, you don't go sweep away, sweep back. No, you go. So you sweep the dust in the same direction to clear something off. I don't know what she was achieving there.
But fair enough.
I genuinely wonder.
A little weird.
Is that CGI dust?
Oh, just like this.
So she didn't know what she was doing. I don't know.
It's a weird. Maybe she was. Maybe it's super secret. Okay, super secret. She revealed it. She's like, yes, that. Although the rest of it's already visible, so I know what it is. I've moved this part, and now you can see an extra symbol. However, someone might be watching me, so I'm gonna immediately put the dust back. Maybe it's that.
Guys, remember, that is nitpicky as hell.
Yep.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually affect anything.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's not a writing issue or anything like that.
No.
It's just kind of funny.
This isn't why I don't like it. That's coming up.
So, unlike with Andor, where, he's all hooded up, while it's raining, and pulled in tight because he doesn't want people to see his face.
All right, you're going to do the Andor one, are you? All right, I'll do the Ahsoka.
And then as he enters the club, it's coming off now because the guard wants to see who he is to let him through.
Good reveal of a character. Love it.
Well, it makes sense given this situation as well.
Yes.
It's heavy rain.
Yep.
You don't want yourself getting wet.
Yep.
Doesn't matter for me. I've got a bald head, but if you've got hair, it might mess it up.
It's a thing, yeah. That's true. It's also your eyes and stuff,
But obviously what we have with Ahsoka is...
Oh, well, first of all, I'm walking through dust, okay? So I have a mask on. No, I don't. I've only got a hood on, okay?
Yeah. If you're trying to keep dust out of your face, you are going to have something over your face.
Yep.
So what we're seeing here is essentially this is a face reveal done for no other reason but to be a face reveal.
This is it, because like you see Andor, and he's like this. He's like, you know, like normal guy.
Yeah.
That's your protagonist. Her, it's like,
Yeah, she's got the protagonist look going, hasn't she? She might as well be the Rock in Jumanji.
Smoldering intensity. Smoldering intensity.
Smoldering intensity.
The hell are you doing?
What?
right, a lot happening here. Cool as hell. Well done. You get your flashy stuff. Okay. Cuts a hole right beneath her. Why?
Well, we're
She's
about
not
to
in a
find out.
rush.
Hang on, let's find out why. I just noticed it didn't drop until she turned the lightsabers off.
Yes.
Which means that gravity didn't happen. Didn't
It's
re-enter
the
the
force.
scene.
It's the force. She held it up with the force. That's how you can explain that. Fair.
No, I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Do you remember like those old Japanese films where they would cut someone?
Yes.
And they wouldn't start
Yeah.
bleeding until they sheathed the sword?
Yeah.
It's that. That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah,
But
it is. It's very stylistic. It's for the
it's
audience.
a style for the audience. It doesn't
Yeah.
really... Again, it's not a writing thing. It's just like, what are you doing?
But for a writing thing, what a way
Well,
to get into the place.
Yes. Now we'll enter with the writing thing. What if there was someone or something underneath you?
Yep.
Did you know how far it went down?
Did a force... Could she tell with a force? Has she got like a force radar or something?
Is this the safest way in? Could there have been something waiting for you down here? Did you need to do this super stylish thing? Or is it only for the audience to know that you're really cool?
Was it just for yourself to look cool? Like, why not cut a hole?
With how-
Think of how cautious Andor was, and then this person just like a hole drop. Does she have a complete map of this place? Has she got see-through force powers? Like,
Or was that marker?
does she not think that the thing she's come here to try and collect might be vulnerable to damage because it's been here for a while? So don't mess around why?
Was that marker a cut here?
That's what it was. That's
what
what
it
the symbol
was.
said. She was like, cut here.
Take 6 steps back and
Six
cut
steps
here.
back and then cut here. That's it. So,
It's just raising questions to me at the moment. Is like, why was this the way you chose to enter the temple?
and it speaks to her character again, right? Although, at the beginning, she's walking and she's very cool and not walking with speed. It could be she knows where she's going. She's got the map. She knows exactly which part of the roof to destroy. So it could be she just knows what she's doing.
Also, I just want to add, because we were talking about the face reveal a minute ago.
Yep.
If you were to do it
when you're in.
you do it now, because what you'd have her
Yes.
is covered up.
Yeah.
In fact, they had this with Rey on her planet, but you'd have her face covered up and everything.
Yeah.
She comes into this environment, she's out of the dust storms,
Yeah.
she can take it off.
The equivalent
It
would be Andor going in the rain, and before he gets to the alley, taking
takes it off and then walks through the alley,
doing some
getting
kind of
drenched.
rock, some rock kind of smouldering kind of look, getting drenched, and then walking in. Why?
Smoldering intensity.
So obviously with Andor, we waited for a bit of dialogue to happen before we found out what he was looking for, and it turned out to be his sister.
Yep.
With Ahsoka, we found out pretty quickly she's looking for the apple of Eden.
Yep. So we have 3 balls, 3 people, and it's taking a long time to tell us this information.
That was over 15 seconds to...
Yeah, but I guess she's just not... She needs whatever she's here, like a relic, but she's in no rush.
Yes,
Because
everything is
demonstrated-
indicating to us there is no
There's no
time
rush
pressure here.
And her bringing down the ceiling indicates that she knows what she's doing. She knows the layout of this place, probably knows what to do here, or she's figuring out with force powers. But yep, 3 people, 3 balls. Let's see what happens.
Okay, so we've had a variety of force powers over the films and the shows. This appears to be another one. I'm guessing she must be using the force, otherwise, or is she just listening to the pillars? I'm assuming she's like sensing with the force some sort of god.
Maybe like a super sensitive
I don't know.
noise or something. Why didn't she do this with the floor? Why is it that her
She
force...
did. That was what she was sweeping the floor for.
Oh, so you reckon that was her feeling it?
don't know.
So that 6 foot away she can draw a hole. Fair. Okay, maybe it's... Yeah.
Like I say, I just don't know what this is at the moment.
All right.
Could need an explanation. We don't know yet. So my question now is, the only part of that pillar that looked like it would turn is that top part. So did she need to sense it at all? Because it seems to have turned with quite a lot of noise and then a very obvious clunk.
So the only way it can really make sense of this is that...
Or is she sensing
the
that clunk?
Because she's sensing it like this.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else is not hearing it. Whereas what we're getting is her internal feeling.
If I wanted to achieve that, I would have made it sound like some sort of distant echo.
Yeah, rather
than this very mechanical.
Very mechanical. Because otherwise, you're implying someone could go down and go, "Look at this amazing maze,"
and just
yeah, done.
Smoldering intensity.
All right, so it's now revealed what's going on. She needs to align all 3 pillars so that the balls light up. So that's the goal, and we can now just montage it. We've seen one of them, right?
Yep, that's what you would normally do. But
or not?
What's with the smirk? I know she's satisfied, but yeah. I'm not sure.
You know what? Very, very mundane task, Reese.
We focus quite a bit on her expression here, but I don't know why she...
Smoldering intensity.
I don't know what that's telling us. She, like I say,
I'm satisfied by the way. This is cold.
It's, yes, the pillars did light up. We really don't need to see you slowly walk to the next pillar.
We get it.
We don't.
Or maybe we do. Yeah, maybe we do.
This complete lack of urgency or drive is starting to just frustrate me a little bit. Because do we need to see every moment of this? We know what she's doing.
Yeah, I mean, they need to illustrate to their audience that this is a very important thing.
Sure, but with how slowly she's taking everything, and now it makes me question, why did she cut through the floor? Because that's a very... I need to be quick here. Cut through the floor, straight in.
Well, this is it. It's erratic. If you're going to go slow and methodic, be slow and methodic. Don't just cut a hole in the roof.
Unless that is the entrance.
Unless that is true. Okay.
But that would be weird, surely.
Yeah. It's just, the pacing's just a little strange for me. But again, none of this is horrendous.
Yeah, of criticisms, obviously pacing is one of the least interesting ones to make.
Yep.
But I'm just saying.
Yep.
This is taking a lot of time to not actually achieve a lot at all. That didn't look like she was sensing that sound at all, because she had moved her hands away and was getting up when it clinked. clicked.
The Force has got more powerful now, Reese.
No, I think that is actually just a mechanical sound.
I do as well, but I'm trying to give them that one, because at least then it would explain.
It would explain it, but I don't think that's what it is.
It's such an elaborate contraption that's so easy to navigate.
How close was that section of the ceiling she cut out to just like landing and covering up that rising pillar? Or was that why she stepped back? Because that circle above is directly over
the symbol
pillar.
said, not here, you'll
Not
land
here.
on the pillar, okay?
Yeah.
But if you go back a very small amount, you'll be fine, and it won't even disrupt the perfect circles, the perfect round. You'll be fine, it will look good. But if that had hit there, what happens there?
She was just lucky. She could have stopped that thing from rising out of the ground.
She never gets anything wrong.
That music is now getting quite intense, letting us know that the ball is important. But without the music, we've got nothing to go on. The music in Andor was complementary to the scene, but in here, it's just doing all the heavy lifting. Like, what is this ball? What is... This would be if you played some epic music while someone's brushing their teeth so far. Like, you can make anything sound epic with epic music.
I want the same music.
I don't know why this is good.
I want the same music. Editor, same music, please.
And smoke.
Get on with it!
Yay. I found it.
So I think I heard the words "we're being jammed" in the first part there. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure. Which, if so, that's pretty good, because if you're listening closely as an audience member, you're now going to have a reason why the signal is dodgy.
Yeah,
I like that. And most people, you might not hear it, so you won't know.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't hear it. I still struggled to hear it, but you're right. If that's there, that's a really cool bit of information for people that are paying attention. And it's so subtle that it would make sense of Ahsoka not picking that up.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, she's focusing her Force energies on other stuff. Whoa! An enemy perfectly waiting for her in a pose, because that's what robots do. They pose a lot. Was he there the whole time?
Yeah, has it been there since she went down?
Did she go down in the hole and he stood there and he went...
I will stand here and wait.
I will wait.
Or did she just happen to arrive at this moment and she's very unlucky?
Now, let me play devil's advocate. Maybe the robot's really smart, or whoever programmed him is really smart, and so what they're thinking is, get her to get it out.
Because they can't turn the pillars.
But in which case, why not wait
cut
up
through the floor
to stab them? As they stab Ahsoka as she comes up, why wait at a distance? But still, that would make sense, right?
No. The droids might have not literally known where the situation is.
Yep, and
it's more to do with the fact that it's just standing there in a pose.
And from quite a distance.
And if it was going to ambush her, why did it not spring an ambush? Why did it stand there waiting like that?
Why is the robot staring at her?
And why is she staring back?
Smoldering intensity.
Get on with it!
Come no closer.
The map. Give it to us.
Would a droid respond to her?
I don't know. Would it actually sort of follow the sort of threat of stop, or would it just move in to try and take it? I don't know what its programming is. I don't know why it's here. That could be fine.
Banned to level 10. That's what it's programmed for.
It could be fine.
Yeah, because
it might not be programmed to fight.
You're right.
We'll find out.
Us.
We had an ambush set up.
Why would he reveal that?
And one at a time as well.
The robot says us. Okay, maybe robots make mistakes now. Or like they can reveal information, that's fine. He just reveals it.
Yeah,
like,
well, first of all, it made the mistake, give it to us,
Yep.
which accidentally, for its choice of language, revealed the ambush.
Yep.
But then they all just sort of agree to reveal themselves.
Yep.
Like, why? Spring the ambush, surely.
Yeah, go for it.
And if these are military droids, which they appear to be,
Yeah.
why are they using spears and not guns? Look at the face. She's completely expressionless. And she's been this way for pretty much every moment so far, except for that one smirk.
Mm-hmm.
There doesn't feel like there's any tension. Because she's not even bothered by this situation. Not even a tiny bit.
I mean, like, you contrast that with Andor, who is visibly shaken, doesn't want the situation happening.
I'm not saying she needs to be scared or anything like that, but she doesn't look confident either. There's just nothing there.
She, I suppose, or at least I assume, wasn't expecting the robot ambush, and yet there's no expression on her face to reveal bother on that. I guess the way that you could write this out is that she's just such a badass. Like, she is like level 10, amazing. Like, she's just phenomenal at what she does. Nothing bothers her. I guess that's a consistent way of doing that. And like,
do you want that for your main character?
That's just boring.
Just unconcerned about everything.
It's not relatable. It's boring. It's like you're starting the game with cheat codes on. Like, but I don't think it's necessarily something that's wrong. But
it's just dull.
Yeah, it's just dull. Turning their weapons.
Everyone's just turning their weapons on.
Okay.
Okay. Right, so these droids aren't moving as if they're getting ready to fight or even they're springing the ambush, as I've said. What they're obviously attempting to do is raise some tension.
Yeah.
But I'm not feeling the tension, partially because of how she's so unconcerned.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I wouldn't expect them to be moving like this. This isn't a military droid that's fighting isn't going to be just slowly marching forward, doing nothing.
But here's the thing, right, for consistency. If they make it so that these droids move like this for the rest of the show, and they do in general for the Star Wars universe, okay.
Well, no, not okay. Because no one would want to build them.
No, you're right on that. And the other thing is, like, look, they're pushing her backwards towards the hole.
Yeah, if the ones at the back had moved a bit faster and got in behind her immediately, she wouldn't be able to move anywhere.
Also, look, on his back. He's got a gun.
Is that a gun? No, it can't be a gun.
It's a gun!
Why is that one not advancing?
Cool.
Okay.
The hell are you doing?
He looks so bored. Oh my god, we've got the start of a smirk again, hasn't it?
Not again.
This is the haha, I fooled you. Wait! No!
Gun!
That is a gun!
Yeah.
Wait, so they should have all surrounded her quietly without revealing themselves and opened fire?
No, because only one of them had a gun.
Only one? No, surely not.
Yeah, the one guy who had a gun is the one that stayed up top to shoot. All of the others have been sunk down.
Let's replay it. That indeed is the only one with a gun. That's amazing. For a couple of reasons. As I said, why would they not ambush her with firearms?
Yep.
But secondly, the only droid she leaves up top is the one with the gun.
Yeah.
To let us know that it had a gun.
Yep.
Which she then destroys immediately. So
because none of the others had them.
They might... actually, they would have been better served here
Yeah.
not having a single gun.
No.
Because it would be less noticeable as a stupid move.
It would. See, that's bad writing. How do you write this out? I mean, even with Ahsoka, you're portraying her to not care again. Because if she had clocked all of this stuff, because you could see his gun part over his shoulder, she would have calculated, right, I'm assessing the situation. When I drop down, I need to bring the melee dude down with me, not the guy with a gun.
So what's happened here is the writers want a melee fight in a universe with firearms.
Yep.
Now, obviously, this has been a thing throughout Star Wars, but it's been, lightsaber on lightsaber. They've contrived a way to give them these very strange melee weapons, but they also realise that the droid should have a gun, so they've given it to one. It's the intent of the writer is damaging the scene.
Look, whoever made this executive decision, people at your place, they're not going to tell you that it's wrong, okay? Because, it's just the situation that you're in. I'm telling you, as an audience member, this is bad writing and you should know it.
So what we're seeing is the droid being stunned just long enough for her to deal with the next one, and then it's ready to take its turn again.
Yep.
And then that one that was stunned, as she defeats the second one, it's now up and ready again to take its turn again. So this doesn't feel like a very dynamic fight. It feels like everything is one at a time. And then, in this sequence, that droid at the back is literally waiting its turn.
Yeah. So first of all, Galadriel moment.
She's so badass.
She took one of them out and stares out at the distance, not immediately turning to be able to be like, right, where is...
She's holding
the
poses before fighting.
Yeah, so she's not bothered, so I don't know why we should be, okay?
Yep.
Second, notice the guy in the background, okay? He switches into 2 different stances
Before
to give
attacking.
her the time to essentially flourish. It's essentially like here I am. Look at me, what a scene. There's your scene.
This is either...
He goes like this, and then he goes like this.
It's either the actors aren't able to carry out the choreography smoothly, or it was planned to be this way from the start. Either way, not good, because narratively, you don't want fighters waiting their turn.
No, you don't. It makes them look incompetent. This is what happened with Galadriel. All of the elves looked incompetent.
Yes. And then if it is a case that the actors aren't getting their marks in the choreography,
hide it.
Fucking redo it.
Redo it or hide
Redo it.
Right? What worries me here, though, mate, is that I think that most people don't care about these kind of problems. And that's why they're getting away with this crap.
So I want to play in here a very, very small sequence from The Last Jedi. Everyone loved the throne room scene, right?
Yeah.
When it first came out. But when you slow it down, there's a point where Rey kicks one person, 3 people fall backwards. There's a point where she gets grabbed, and because the guy had a second weapon in his other arm and could have just stabbed her in the back, they edit the weapon out of the scene.
Wow.
As the scene traps. So, people are surviving and doing things that shouldn't be happening because they're just fucking up the choreography all over the place. While you're watching it the first time, you don't necessarily notice it.
Yeah.
But on repeat viewings, the whole thing just starts falling apart. And I think this is one of those cases. On first watch, you're not going to notice what's going on. But as soon as you start paying any attention to it, it's just not a well choreographed scene.
I do think you and I are alone. Or at least those of you that are with us with really, really not liking mistakes like this. We are alone, and that's what affords basically Hollywood to keep producing crap like this. Because it evidently, for most people, it doesn't suck them out of the believability of things. They don't care.
Personally, this fight here is one of the least of the problems of not only this scene, but the show.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, this isn't...
It just sort of speaks to a carelessness.
Yes, it does.
Initiate.
Talking about waiting their turn.
What did she do when she brought them down? Did she double tap them? Did she cut the hole and then cut him in half as he comes down? Or left them?
Just left them.
You guys.
She had the perfect opportunity.
You get scene two.
She had the perfect opportunity because they would have been off balance.
Yeah.
And the droids, so we don't really care. They're not like sentient sort of thing. So she could have killed them.
Yeah.
Or destroyed them, rather. But she didn't. And then they wait down there, unstable or delayed enough that she can finish the 2 up top before they all climb out at the same time.
At the same time, yeah, that's true. You can imagine one gets up and he goes to climb up, and the other one goes, wait. We'll go up now together.
Now.
Let's go.
Self-destruct protocol.
Why is it saying it out loud for her to hear? Can they not communicate electronically rather than non-verbally?
Maybe it's because if they self-destruct in front of their human masters, and their human masters need to know, because the glowing and shit that they do isn't going to be enough.
No, this is just weird because there is a scene later that you haven't seen.
Thank you.
Where someone covers the mouth of a droid and the sound is muffled.
Well, I guess if the speaker's in the mouth, that would make sense. Reese, you're so critical, mate.
Surely she's dead here, right? Like they're about to detonate right on top of her here, and with what seem to be pretty large bombs that have come out the chest for some reason.
Do they need to get oxygen? Why is it?
I love how it has to hold this pose as well.
Oh yeah, it's got to put. But what? Honestly, like why? Why is it protruding? I don't get it.
I don't know. It's just a visual thing to indicate us as a bomb. Yeah. The more important part is that she's dead, right?
I don't know. It depends how big the bomb is.
This bomb's taking a long time to go off.
Where are you?
Like a really long time not to go off.
Oh wow, why doesn't it just go off? Surely
it's still not gone off.
Surely if the goal is at self-destruct, why are you giving her...
Was this meant to hit her at all? Whoa! What is that?
Just keep flying and lower the ramp.
How absurdly huge was that explosion?
Can droids they're special droids, right? If they've just established that droids can nuke things, because that's a nuke near... Wow, it's huge. It's a
when
big
they
explosion.
said self-destruct, I was expecting like an explosion large enough to kill her there.
Yeah, do a rumor.
But would like leave everything intact so that someone could come along and recover the ball later.
Basically a grenade.
Essentially, yes. Yeah. Instead, we've got a nuke, which was not going to leave anything to be recovered. That's absurd. They've tried to make this spectacle so large, it's fucking laughable. For how small that fight in Andor was, it was filled with so much more tension and emotion.
I know, and yet there wasn't these explosions, there wasn't a nuke, there wasn't, these fight scenes like this.
Let's play on a little bit more. Look at that!
That is...
Do you know what that reminds me of?
That's a big bomb.
Mount Doom.
Oh, don't. Don't even do that. That's not okay. Not Mount Doom. Never mention Mount Doom again.
Good thing I arrived when I did.
About that. Where were you?
They just love how both of them don't care.
Yeah.
Like a nuke just went off. He couldn't contact her. She couldn't contact him. There was just this really serious situation, a destruction that would level cities.
She had to run quite a distance.
She just about gets on it.
Explosion.
And they get on, and they're just like...
She's not out of breath. She's not flustered. Where were you?
Yeah, how you doing,
casual.
Man? May
just
a
normal day at the office.
Yeah. You may as well went, what did you have for breakfast? She doesn't care. This must be her day-to-day life. Just always being near death.
Maybe.
This is Star Wars to me.
Was keeping the ship at a safe distance.
If you didn't keep at such a safe distance, maybe we wouldn't have lost communication.
I am just following standard Jedi mission protocol.
You weren't being jammed.
It weren't being jammed. You misheard it seems.
No. But that would be okay. I can hear things.
Yeah.
But he was so far away, they couldn't communicate. And he just said that is standard Jedi mission protocol. So standard Jedi mission protocol is to be so far away you can't talk to each other.
Also,
do you know what level of damage you've just done to the Jedi? Because you've just said that their plan, their standard mission protocol is fucking stupid.
Maybe that standard plan works on other planets that don't have certain things or certain barriers. Maybe he was behind a mountain. Maybe he's screwed
I'm
up.
also, though,
Yeah.
surely, if you were about to enter a place, she could have gone, I think I found the place, and checked the communication back and forth
Yeah. But
before she went down.
she's a super pragmatist. She doesn't care. The other thing is, this is quite funny, is that the thing that you praised
It's been knocked off.
has been knocked off now.
Good going, show.
Yeah, you like that.
I thought that was a good little thing. If you were paying attention,
You would put
right, the communication's out because it's jammed.
Turns out it's not true.
Turns out it's not jammed. Instead, it was he parked really far away because that's what they do.
Yang, the order doesn't exist anymore.
So I hope that has demonstrated actually why the Andor one is really good and why the Ahsoka one's not so good, because we didn't actually have a lot to say at all about Ahsoka. Most of it was questions.
Yeah.
Whereas with Andor, it's like every little moment, all the dialogue, the setup, we were getting lots about the characters and who they were, just the way people were looking at each other. Because all she did in that thing was look at a ball, smirk, and then go fight some robots. There wasn't anything to draw out of that scene. It was just, that scene was really only there to look cool.
You have to bear in mind that the structure, as we mentioned at the beginning, is the same.
Yes.
Storyboard-wise, it's the same stuff. Now, with Andor, like, you get this character that is full of depth, very interesting. He's grey. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't have this one-dimensional character with Ahsoka. You can, like, that's fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, you know, just in terms of interest, for me personally, Andor is immediately more interesting. Then you have the world building, right? Everyone that Andor is interacting with, no matter how small they are as a character, they're believable.
It's telling you something about their lives.
They're telling you something about their lives. It enriches the world. It makes the whole scene, the whole world feel more believable. And for that reason, it has that intensity, and it has all of the emotions of good television, of good.
Whereas what we had
film,
what we had here was just questionable logic behind everything.
Yeah,
like, why would she enter the temple that way? Why was the temple constructed in a way which appears to just be turn a top thing until you hear a click and then it'll raise a pillar? Why were the droids fighting her one at a time after failing to spring an ambush by telling her that the ambush was happening?
Why does only one of them have a gun?
Why does only one of them have a gun? Why does the self-destruct take so long to happen? Why is the self-destruct so huge? Like, every moment, I'm just like questioning the decisions of every entity involved in the scenes. You know, it's bizarre. I've never seen anything like it.
I have.
Instead of having things revealed to me, I just question every moment that's going on.
The thing is that is Star Wars to me. It is Star Wars to me. It's just this Hollywood shit that they keep pumping out. That's just, it's about flashy stuff. It's about looking cool. I'm
going to so disagree on the OT, but a lot of it is certainly since Disney have got a hold of Star Wars. I think there's been basically no attention paid to storytelling whatsoever in the craft of it all. It's entirely on we want a cool scene with this in it, and then everything is focused around achieving that. I know you haven't seen Boba Fett and Kenobi. I'll give Ahsoka one thing. It is far better than those shows.
Well, it is worth my saying.
Boring.
Yeah.
But it's better written than those shows.
You make a fair point as well, at least implicitly, as far as I see it. And that is fair enough, I actually haven't seen a lot of Star Wars, so I need to be careful with that statement. It's just what I've seen of Star Wars, it's like this. And of the original films, my criticism wouldn't be that they do this flashy nonsense. It's actually that they're just boring. To me, they're just very boring. But that's because I didn't watch them in their prime and think.
Oh no, that's not a good argument.
I think it is. Like,
I didn't watch them when they came out. Is not a good argument.
Oh, I think
we're gonna have to have.
We're gonna have a fight about film relativity, are we?
That's gonna have to be.
That's gonna have to be its own episode, because I think there's some.
I think you can draw criticisms about acting quality and dialogue.
Oh, the acting in the original. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, is I think you can draw those things.
Yeah.
But I think story structure and everything, you can't argue that just because it's old is bad.
What I'm saying is that I just don't like it. However, if I lived back then, I understand the power of relativity. And there's a good chance I would have been like, this is the coolest thing on television.
I didn't live when Terminator came out, when Predator came out, when Alien came out.
Yep.
Those are good films.
They are good films, but I would say that they're exceptional films, whereas I don't think Star Wars is exceptional. Anyway, I know that I've got the wrong opinion on this. Yes, don't worry, guys. It's okay.
We'll have to hammer out that argument at some point.
You know what? We'll have to review the originals, and I'll break your heart by pointing out how mind-numbingly boring it is, and we'll go from there. So there is our comparison between the opening of the protagonist of Andor and the opening protagonist of Ahsoka. Now,
so before we sign off, actually,
yeah,
I do want to have a quick thing on the fact that we've just done analysis for 2 different shows and had 2 very different results.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that I hear quite a lot when I'm highly critical of bits of Star Wars is, oh, you can do this to anything. You can pick anything apart and it becomes bad.
Yeah.
Well, it's clearly not true, because every single time I've watched that Andor scene, I found more things that I want to talk about in a positive sense. Every time we looked at that Luthen scene, I found more things that I want to talk about in a positive sense. If content is good, it only gets better when you're analytical with it.
There's a bolster to this, and that is that when Reese first started looking at Andor, he deliberately, by my lights, he was not in the mood to enjoy it.
No, the first 2 episodes,
yeah,
I was just in this sort of, it's fine. Yeah. And that was because everything else that Star Wars has done in the last few years had really put me on a low. I got through to episode 3 and I started to pick up some of the enjoyment. 4, 5 and 6 were great. And then I finished the whole lot off very, very happy.
Yeah.
And after that, I wanted you to watch it.
And I told you straight from the get-go.
And you told me straight from the get-go.
This is excellent.
You were very happy. As I was watching those scenes, I was like, oh, that's better than I remembered.
Yeah.
That's better than I
remembered. Now, will you do that with Ahsoka? Will you watch it again and go, oh, that... You know,
so far I've rewatched this scene and gone, that was more boring than I
remembered. Let me give you the best scene in the first episode, okay? We're probably going to have to touch upon this properly in a different video, but you know, like when one of the protagonists gets stabbed with a lightsaber and the enemy just holds it straight without moving it because that would kill her. And as for why she's not frying to death, I don't know. But anyway, put it through her. They make eye contact, dramatic scene, and then retracts the blade or the saber perfectly. She falls to the ground, and then she's fine the next episode. Oh, whoever wrote that. Oh, wow. I bet your salary is just...
Actually, it's funny, because one of the big criticisms of Star Wars at the moment is the lightsabers a little more than baseball bats.
They don't mean anything.
And how many times did she hit those droids in that fight with the lightsabers? And it did nothing. They were still fighting until the final slice.
Yeah.
And she did hit them, because otherwise why were they stunned?
True. Or there was just always stuns with the hands.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't care to.
Don't give me another reason to look again.
No.
Anyway.
Sign off. It's been long enough. You've watched us for probably more than an hour now.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate it. If you want us to review more stuff, let us know. If you don't, then let us know.